Okay, so this is the second game. Okay, so I'm gonna start again right now. But I'm gonna play a bit on play fast, just to get through things more quickly. So right now, I use vision to see where the animals are and where I can convert them. I value it more than using vision to aid my shifting sands, because I just I just think it's really important to be able to find animals to convert as early as possible. And Alfheim, there is sort of a little bit of a scarcity of animals, but there's still some good animals to convert. Like here, I found some bears, so it's really important to find them as soon as possible and start converting. Over here, I scout this right side of my hyena, but in hindsight, I think this was a bit of a mistake to scout this side first. I could have scouted the other side of my vision, and that way my hyena would sort of protect my priest. Like if his scout found my priest, then my hyena could protect it from the scout. So I should have scouted the other side instead. And over here, the scout finds my hyena and steals this cow. So I have to back off, which is a little bit unfortunate. But then, oh man, I could have gotten this cow back. No, I do end up getting the cow back here. And then right here, he actually ends up hitting my priest, and then I misclick on this bear with my bear, and then because it's 2.7 and the animals have attack, I end up actually aggroing the bear and have to back off, which kind of sucks, and I lose some HP on the bear. But then as a result of that, I actually find more bears here, and I also find this blue crystal shard relic, which is really good. So, okay. Right now, I'm moving my pharaoh to go get this blue crystal shard relic, because this blue crystal shard relic, it's like, if you've seen my document on the gather rates, what this does is it boosts your gather rates as Egyptian a lot before you get a hand axe and shaft mine. So at the stage of no wood gathering equips and exactly pick up pickaxe, your villagers, they get a full load of resources with one less animation if you get blue crystal shards. So it boosts your gather rates a lot at those levels. So this is a really important relic to grab. And I move my pharaoh out to get it, and this time, because right now this hunt patch, it's about to run out. I don't really need to empower it anymore. And it's just early enough that I don't have to worry about him getting it with his hero, because he won't have his hero out yet at this point. It's way too early. So I'm going to be able to pick up that relic, no problem. And then here, I'm just scouting as much of the map as I can. It's always good to have as much information as possible. It's really important to scout the map. And with sets, fortunately, you have these animals for scouting it. So right now, just now, my bear, he was over here, and he saw this villager moving over to this hunt spot. And so I know that Hagrid has just started hunting over here. So by the time I hit classical age, he should still probably be at this hunt. This hunt won't have run out by then. So I'm thinking right now how I'm going to be able to use my pharaoh, my priest, and my Wadget to gain an advantage off of this hunt spot, and using shifting sands. So I want my pharaoh to be able to come in to harass this hunt, but at the moment, I still need to get to the next stage, so I'm just empowering my hunt here. And I also want to grab this town center. So I'm just going to keep my pharaoh around on this side, and when hit classical age, he's going to come down through here and hit this hunt. But then it would actually have better en route to maneuver my pharaoh around and come in the other direction and intercept them between the TC. But I didn't think about that at the time. I just thought about doing as much damage as I could on this hunt. Now, I actually have two options, knowing that he's hunting here. I could move everyone, like right over here, right under my temple, my priest, my Wadget, my pharaoh. And as soon as I hit classical age, I shift right on top of these villagers and I try to kill as many as I can. Or the other option is to use my Pharaoh and Priest and then just like walk right up to these guys and then do as much damage as I can. And then once they're about to escape, I shift them back into my town center to kill them off. And with Extended Edition, you can actually shift villagers back into your base, unlike on the Vubli version of Age of Mythology. And I think it's actually a bit more effective here, because if he tries to make some heroes to defend, or if Minotaur gets stuck in it, I can also shift that back into my base, and then I might be able to pick that off or do a lot of damage to those as well. So that's what I'm thinking right now, and I want to put some pressure on this spot down here. And now, while I'm aging up, I've got 10 on food, but then that's too much. This food source just runs out, so I move these villagers over to gold, because I want to grab this town center after I age up. I also kind of want to grab this town center, because it's got the animals near it. Yeah, I want to grab both town centers. Like, looking at this map, it's a really defensive map with really defensive town centers. And it's also Alfheim, which has a lot of gold mines, so it's pretty safe. And it's a pretty boomy map, so I actually want to grab both town centers. So I put my villagers on gold here to get a bit of a boom going. And in the meantime, I'm moving my Pharaoh down, preparing to attack this spot. My priest and my bears are also in position and getting ready to attack. I know that Hagrid is hunting down here. And right now, I'm almost classic, so the priest and the Pharaoh, they're going to start being able to do proper damage once I hit classic. And then here I'm just mauling away. I actually sort of microed a bit with my priests and my bears. They sort of went in the wrong angle, and then they weren't really doing damage to the villagers when they could have been. Also, at my temple, I'm researching Hand's other Pharaoh, which will give my Pharaoh double the attack. But then I don't have it right now. I can only start researching it until I get to the classical age. So my Pharaoh is actually not doing that much damage, but he still does a good number. And then these villagers, they're forced off of hunt, and I'm going to be able to shift some back later. So right now, Hagrid uses Sentinels preemptively. And then here, I see that they're going to get away, and it's sort of messed up a bit. So right now, I shifted them back because I know that they're going to get away at this point. And I catch 3 villagers and this Minotaur, which is really good for me. These 3 villagers, they're gonna get picked off. Right next to my town center with these 2 towers here, there's like no way he survives. They survive, but Hagrid, when he sees this, he uses Restoration to keep them alive, and then it ends up being a bit of a chase. I'm not sure if this was the right thing to do, because it's still really risky. You're just, like, still probably going to lose these villagers. Restoration doesn't actually last that long. And so, right now, my Wadget, my Pharaoh, they're all moving back to get in position to snipe off the villagers. I pick off one anyway, despite the Restoration immediately. And then the Wadget comes in, and he's attacking right now. These villagers are trying to retreat, and the Minotaur is working on the Wadget. But then I still have my heroes here. And they're going to be able to... They should be able to pick off these villagers without much issue, since I am behind them. And then since Hagrid chooses to take this path, which is a bit of a mistake, he should have kept running left to waste more time for my Pharaoh and Priest. But then right now, yeah, these guys are going to fall. And then this Minotaur is also completely out of position. He's going to fall as well. And yeah, so right now, we pause the game. I picked up 3 villagers and his Minotaur with his Shifting Sands, and he's used Restoration, and he hasn't gotten any picks so far back on me. And if I just move everyone back into the base, go for a boom, I'm just ahead by 3 villagers and a Minotaur, and I don't have to worry really about pressure because he is a Minotaur down. And then I just eat animals, get Shadow, farm, go, and then it's just an easy game for me. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm just really ahead thanks to that shifting stance. But I messed up a little bit here. I lose my Wadjet, which is not good. This Wadjet, I ended up grouping him with all my guys and then retreating it, and then the Wadjet actually moved back into his 2 heroes. And then I lose it, so that was kind of sloppy by me. I don't need to lose the Wadjet. And right now, because I have the blue crystal shard relic, once I get pickaxe, I actually have just like really good gather rates, and I don't need hand axe to get those good gather rates with wood. So I'm going to get pickaxe as soon as possible after grabbing this town center. But then Hagrid sort of anticipates it, and he's got his Chiron there. And he's got his Ajax there and his Scout as well, and it's sort of causing a bit of trouble. End up losing my Pharaoh here. And I think I end up losing a villager as well. No, I lose a priest in this villager. I don't even manage to pick off Chiron, so it's just not good. Yeah, I could have garrisoned that villager, but I just wasn't fast enough, unfortunately. But is he, like, hard map for Hagrid? I don't actually think so. It's not a hard map, it's a hard matchup. It's not a hard map. Like, there's no forward TCs, I can't Merc abuse him. There's not really much animals in the middle for me to convert to just like abuse that set power. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad map for Hagrid at all. This is a fine map for Hagrid, but then it's set against Hades. It's just a hard map for Hades. Like I can't Merc abuse him with these town centers. These defensive town center positions that should favor Greek, and also this hunt patch here, like all the hunts already used up. It doesn't matter about the map control in the early classic that set can have with just like converting all the animals. Okay, so yeah, right now I have pickaxe and I have just really good gather rates. I'm getting the Shadoof. Do I have it already actually? Yeah, I already have Shadoof, so I'm just going to be able to farm and then I'm going to be boom. And it's just a sort of boom right now. I make a barracks just to be careful that I don't get shoved off of gold, make a few spearmen. And yeah, I'm just trying to go heroic now. So I'm making a few spearmen so that I can move forward and make a Migdol in a more aggressive position. Yeah, so I make my Migdol in a really forward position, right in the middle of the map. And Hagrid, he just doesn't have he doesn't have the army to deny it for some reason. Well, I think it's because he has to invest in all these farms that he doesn't have the army to come over here and fight for this Migdol. But then I think I should have yeah, like it would still be pretty difficult because the Migdol builds so fast with the Pharaoh, and then I also got the Spearmen coming in here. So I'm just forward building now. And a scout here to see how much I can forward build, but then I was a bit sloppy with a micro on the Scorpion Man, and ended up losing it, which is not good. And then here I'm making elephants because I have a really strong food eco and I can support elephants, so I'm just making them, and I'm also going mythic. So I'm going to be able to get a nice push with Meteor and have all the siege coming in, and then probably forward build again on this gold mine and just be able to keep pushing in here and just have like this really good eco and really good mythic timing. Also, there's this relic here, which I should have picked up earlier. This Dwarven Calipers to get 20% cheaper siege towers. And since I'm going to be making a lot of siege towers to push in, I really should have picked it up. It would have been very helpful. Okay, so right now, I start moving in. And then he uses curse and his ancestors, and a bit of a fight happens. I feel like he shouldn't have been fighting this here. He shouldn't have been fighting the ancestors. He should have just backed off here. And then my plan, if he backed off, was to just spam as many migdals and towers as I could, like right in his face. And since I'm going Mythic, I'm going to try and get all the EQ ups and the Book of Thoth upgrade to secure my late game and ensure I have all the same gather rates that with the Greek player, and I can keep up with him in the late game, even if this push doesn't go well. And here this Pharaoh is sort of getting out of position, but then he gets in the siege tower. And Pharaoh should be in the back here since the enemy line's picked up. He should be empowering the watchtower going up. Right here, I'm also really sloppy. I have all this idle military here that really need to move forward and help out in this fight. Yeah. But anyway, my plan here is to just forward build all these watchtowers and charge him with elephants, because he doesn't really have a good counter to elephants. He's got Dromeless, which is kind of crap. And if I spam these towers with crenellations, then it should melt all his cavalry, and then he won't have a... Like, it'll be really hard for him to just defend against an elephant, chariot archer, and siege push. Okay, so right now, Hagrid is actually running out of gold, but that didn't come to my mind while I was playing the game. This would have been a really good opportunity for me to go ahead and just try to do a bit of a gold star. And even if it wasn't, it should have just been a habit right now to wall up the map, like right down here, everywhere. Just wall up the map and get map control, but then I wasn't doing that. I was just so focused on pushing in here, and I had like almost no resources. So it was a really tight push. But yeah, that would have made the game a lot easier for me if I just walled up the map here. And also, one thing that Hagrid is doing is starting a trade route, which I actually don't agree with. He's like invested all these resources into these caravans, and they've only got... Oh, they've actually got 112 gold. That's quite a lot. So actually, it might be worth it. This trade might be worth it. But then I just feel like at this stage of the game, it's really important to get those upgrades, like heavy cavalry, army upgrades and everything, and go mythic. Like, he's making all these caravans. Well, he stopped right now. But then that just delays all his timing so much. It makes these fights a lot harder for him. Like, like caravans costing 100 food is just really big compared to the 50 food of a villager. Yeah, so I'm just forward building right now. I still have to worry about Hagrid going mythic and just earthquaking my forward build. He's gone through Aphrodite, so at least I don't have to worry about Underworld Passage in the late game. So any late game grind out should actually be okay for me. Like, since I've gone through Thoth and I've got all the Thoth upgrades. Like, even if this is late game, I should still be okay here with a Thoth late game and all these elephants, crenellation buildings. But then right now, like, I know that if I just keep fighting, it's gonna keep Hagrid stuck in the Heroicas as long as possible. And that would be really good for me to stop him from going mythic. And I have this Migdal right here. It's being empowered by my Pharaoh. Just firing all these arrows, and it's also building really fast. And it's just really tough for Hagrid right now. It's got crenellations as well, so it would just melt any cavalry. Like, it would do so much damage to this cavalry. Yeah, you can just see the health. It's just melting so fast. In this push, it carries on for quite a while. I did a bad job of securing the map. I really should have tried to wall up with, like, single villagers as much as I could to stop him from just going wherever he wants. But then this push here, it's just so powerful with my tech lead. And all the crenellations buildings just melting his cavalry. And also he doesn't have an answer to the war elephants. Like, look at this health. It's got 652 health. Like, that's insane. That's insane. It's a heavy elephant with tusks of epidemic. It's just got so much health, and it's just so hard to kill. Like, Prodromos, these medium Prodromos, with these upgrades, they actually don't beat these elephants, I think. Like, they're not actually even trading well for Hagrid against these elephants, so these elephants are just so strong. I'm spending all my food on making them, and as much resources as I can on spamming these Migdals as well, or just contributing all this arrow power. Yeah, okay, so Hagrid's just really behind at this moment, and I feel like the game's pretty much over with these three Migdals. It's almost over. I just need to finish him off with Siege, but it's just so hard for Hagrid to come back at this point. He does have Earthquake, but then my buildings, they've got the, Mason's upgrades, and I think Architects should be on the way very soon. I don't know if it's researching at this point in the game yet. But yeah, I'm also getting Architects, and I'm just spamming these barracks here as well to soak up the Earthquake damage, so it's really hard for Hagrid to get back into the game. And he's also mining down here. Yeah, so he's actually in a really tight gold situation as well. And I'm making even more towers. I've got the 3 Migdals already, and this is just it's just a really brutal push. He has Earthquake, but it doesn't do enough to take out these Migdals. Like, it almost takes out this Migdal, but then there's still these 2 Migdals here, and there's still the Siege works, and there's still these villagers building here. It's just not enough. If you look at the upgrades, I've got all these upgrades. And for my villagers, I've got basically I've got basically full upgrades on villagers. No, he's not quite there yet. His army is also not upgraded well. Like, these are just garbage upgrades compared to what I have. So I'm just so far ahead in tech at this point. I've also got funeral rites for the Pharaoh, I think. No, I don't. But the Pharaoh is still doing massive damage to these Chimeras, and it's just like picking them off. Yeah, so this game, I think it's over at this point. He just wasn't able to keep up on tech because of the early shifting sands giving me that edge, and then also I had the cheaper farms as well, and just like the crystal shard relic also gave me a bit of an eco lead, being able to eat animals as well. Like, so all these things went together into giving me that eco lead. So now that I just have a big tech lead, and then like I just started trading. All the trades went favorably for me. Yeah. So even though I didn't really do a good job securing the map, I didn't wall up the map as well, but then it was just raw Egyptian power, this game. Like, so powerful with the early shifting sands bullshit, and that just allowed me to get so far ahead in tech, and then just wins me the game here. Yeah, this is completely over. And Hagrid taps out at this point.